This is the first edition of the Blackbirds Basketball Coaches Show presented by Applebees, directly across the street from Long Island University's campus in downtown Brooklyn. Hi everybody, I'm Gregg Caserta, voice of the LIU women's team, and this will be the first of many shows for this upcoming season. It can be seen weekly on NEC Front Row, in which I will talk to both women's coach Gail Striegler and men's coach Jack Perri. First up today, we have Gail, who I just met for the first time a couple of minutes ago. And Coach, I appreciate you joining me. I know you have practice in a little less than an hour, but this is what you wait all year for. Regular season opens Friday night against Columbia. So how slow will these next 3 or 4 days take to get to that Friday night game?
You know, I don't think it's going to take much time at all. It seems to be flying by. We've got so many new kids that we're trying to get things in place so that they're ready to go. You know, it's going to be an exciting time for the kids to get out there and play their first game, but we really got a lot of things to work on in the next 3 days of practice to be ready for it. And, you know, hopefully we'll be really good at a few things and work on some other things. We're definitely a work in progress for sure.
Can you take us through training camp? I know you've got the first month under your belt. You've played 2 exhibition games, and according to what you told me before, 1 up, 1 down. What have you seen thus far from the girls in terms of effort and preparation?
Well, you know, kind of what you expect. The kids that are back from last year have a little bit better feeling for the system and the program that you're running, so they're able to do a few more things of what you're looking for. The underclassmen have had some really bright spots and then some spots where they need to get better at, and it's going to be that way for a while. You know, it's hard for a freshman or a newcomer to pick up on everything that you're trying to do within a system and be successful right away, and they're going to have some ups and downs, and you know, we're really looking for them hopefully after Christmas to really be gelling as a team and to have a lot of success at that time, and that's what you're working for. You know, you see bits and pieces right now, but you're hoping for the end product when you start conference.
This will be your 6th year at the head of the program. Last year was a tricky one for you, 7-22 overall, 4-14 in the conference. After 3 straight winning seasons, and then you have the little bump in the road last year, is this a different mindset for you coming into this year?
Well, we went back and we had a lot of transition again this year player-wise, got a lot of new kids in again, and I think I went back and treated it more like I did my very first year here and kind of slowed things down. We really have very little of our, compared to what we typically have in at this time. We have very few defensive schemes in. We don't have a lot of our offenses in that we would typically have in. So it's kind of, I don't want to say a dumbed down because that's not the right word, but we've gone back to what we did the first year and have a lot less stuff in at this time of the year. And hopefully we'll be better at the stuff that we have in. So that's how we're kind of treating it. You know, hopefully the Columbia won't throw any crazy weird stuff at us that haven't seen before, haven't been able to practice. But it's more about us right now than it is against who we're facing.
I was going to ask about Columbia. You faced them Friday night for the regular season opener at 7 o'clock. Opened last season against them, beat them by 11. What sort of challenges did they bring to the table?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell this year. They've got a new coach, and they've got, I think, only 3 kids that played any type of significant minutes back for them. They had a really good recruiting class. They've got a post player from California that's a freshman that's supposed to be the real deal. I think she was ranked in the top 300 in the country, so she's going to definitely pose a challenge to us. They've got some good guards back that can shoot. You know, it's hard to tell what they're going to run offensively and defensively because it's a new coach, and I don't know what her system is going to be. So I think it'll be a great challenge for us because we're going into it really kind of blind, not knowing what they're going to do and not knowing their personnel either. So again, it's going to be mostly about what we need to do. We're going to try and work on us the next couple days and really prepare for what we think we need to do well to be able to beat any team that we would play.
Going along with that, you lose your top 2 scorers from last season, so Cleandra Roberts, big year for her, final season about to begin. How big will this be for her? How crucial will it be to get off on the right foot and maybe take control of the offense early on?
Well, she's already done that. You know, she's been a leader for us on and off the court. She was last year, and she is this year again, and she will definitely be one of our go-to people, and there'll be other people that are back from last year that I think there's a lot of improvements in that we're going to see. You know, she has stepped up her game, and she's improved it from the inside and the out, so I think she's an improved player both ends. And so I'm excited about seeing her go against the other competition, and I know she is too. But the other pieces have got to fall into place. You can't win with just one kid. And we've got other scorers that I think that people will be surprised about, and they're going to step up. But ultimately, it's about baby steps right now and trying to get everybody on the same page and really getting out there and playing hard every single possession because we're going to make mistakes right now. There's no way we're not going to make mistakes, and it's about how we fight through those mistakes and how we react to those mistakes.
You seem to be pretty deep at the guard position. One player I wanted to ask you about, Sophie Boston. Last year, 29 games, 1 start, and then she makes the NEC All-Rookie team. Do you think she's ready to assume a starter's role?
She right now is coming off the bench still for us, but she's going to get lots of minutes. She's probably the best 6th man that you could ever ask for in the conference, and I think she'll continue to be that. She's also got a potential to step up and start. She is like an automatic scorer. She's got to work on some other parts of her games to continue to improve. We got several new kids that have stepped in and played really well for us, but she is definitely going to be one of our go-to offensive players.
Combing through last year's stats, and we try and not reflect on it a little too much, but your team shot 58% from the free throw line. Opponents shot 69% from the free throw line. Pretty glaring difference. Is that something that you've been working on a little bit more to try and get that across?
You know, honestly, it's kind of funny. My teams have never been great free throw shooters, but the more emphasis we seem to put on it, I swear to you, the worse we shoot it. So we have concentrated on it. I'm not going to say we've concentrated on it any more than we did before. Last year, I probably put more emphasis on it than I have ever, and it didn't improve any. So, you know, we shoot free throws every day in practice at some point, whether it's underneath pressure situations or it's going to make 10. So we do focus on it, and they know that we have a goal of shooting 70% for a team. We just have not been great at it. And again, you know, we're continuing to work on it, and we put that as an emphasis, and it's a work in progress, I guess you would say, kind of like our team. It's a work in progress.
The NEC seems to be getting tougher every year, not just in basketball, but in every sport. You look at the preseason poll, you're projected to finish 8th out of the 10 teams. When you see something like that, does it provide extra motivation, or do you not pay too much attention to it?
You know, I think that it gives you a little bit of motivation, but again, hopefully we're focused on us and what we need to do to make ourselves better. And, you know, this conference is a great conference from top to bottom. It's very competitive. I think anybody can almost beat anybody on any night, but it's very good from top to bottom. A lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, and it's been shown in the last couple of years because we've gotten really good seeds in the NCAA tournament. We've had 14 seeds, which is good for us, 13s and 14 seeds. So it's very good for our conference and good for us.
When you look at the schedule breakdown, 3 of your first 4 games are at home. Then you have the LIU Turkey Classic during the Thanksgiving holiday. Then starting December 5th, 7 straight games on the road, including your first 2 conference games.
Yeah.
What did you make of the schedule when you first saw it?
Well, we tried to get a couple away games in there, but it just wouldn't fit with the people we were playing. We owed some games, and people owed us games, and it just didn't fit. You don't ever really want it to be like that, I don't think, because you want to have a mixture of home and away in there. And then we don't control the conference schedule, so we didn't know that it was going to be quite that many games on the road. You know, I think hopefully we'll gain a little bit of confidence by being at home and have some of the stuff worked out by the time we get on the road. And then I'm sure we'll have a new set of issues when we go on the road, because that's just a thing for the kids. It's a difficult task to play on the road. And they have to adjust to that. They have to adjust to sleeping in the hotel beds. They have to adjust to shooting on a different person's court. Even though the goal is the same size and the same height, it's a different situation for them. So, you know, it'll be a tough adjustment when we first go on the road, but it'll be good that we have a road games, road test before we get into conference.
Coach, final question. Obviously, different set of challenges every year that you touched on a little bit earlier, but the freshmen that you bring in, you have a lot of fresh faces coming in. Can you talk about some of them and what they've shown you thus far?
Well, there's, you know, Alicia Meyer from Australia is in our starting lineup right now, so she has made an immediate impact. And as I've told her many times, she's a really good player. She can shoot the 3, but the thing she does best is she blends in. She makes very few mistakes, and that's one of the reasons she's in the starting lineup right now. Ashley Brown is coming in from a junior college, and I think she's going to make an immediate impact. She's going to back up the point guard position and get some minutes at the 2 and 3 guard. And really, I think all the freshmen and all the new kids that we have coming in are going to get their opportunities. You know, we're not real deep at the post, so Mercedes is going to get some minutes at the post also. So they're all going to have their opportunities. And as I've told them all, they need to make the most of them. And if the more that they get out of them and the more that we see out of them, the more minutes they'll get the next time. So they're all going to get their minutes. The style that we play is very up-tempo, and we're going to press a lot. So we're going to go 10 deep, probably 9 to 10 deep every single game. So they're going to get their opportunities. And I think that, you know, in the beginning they may be a little bit hesitant about it, but I think they're going to be a great group of kids to see play on the court, and hopefully everybody will come out and enjoy the game.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Look forward to talking with you for the rest of the season, and we'll see you Friday night.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. That's Gail Striegler, women's basketball coach. The Blackbirds basketball coaches show continues. Jack Perri joins me next.
When people think about dedication and sacrifice, they think of a soldier. As a way of saying thanks to those who have served, Applebees is offering vets a free meal on Veterans Day. I'll be showing my support by playing a concert for our veterans. And you get to decide the neighborhood. Give thanks at thankyoumovement.com. Your most thankful neighborhood will host the concert. So join the movement and thank a vet today.
Gregg Caserta welcoming you back for the Blackbirds basketball coaches show, presented to you by Applebees on the corner of Flatbush and DeKalb Avenue. This next gentleman really doesn't need much of an introduction in these parts, but I'll do it anyway. Jack Perri, head men's basketball coach, and I want to let you know that when I started here in the spring, the buzz was about this team, 3 straight NEC championships. So I need to ask, does it get tougher every year when you start a new season in terms of the expectations and the pressure and the fact that you know that when you play the opposition, they're going to be bringing their A game against you?
Well, first off, every year is different. You got a whole different team. We had 5 seniors. Julian Boyd, obviously we got him with the 6th year coming back, but it's a totally different experience, totally different team. We go at a different speed also. But yeah, you know that every time, especially in the NEC, they're coming at us. You know, we've won 3 years in a row, and we expect to get everybody's best game.
You see number 42 out there, Julian Boyd. You mentioned him last year, 8 games in, coming off the NEC Player of the Year award. He goes down with the knee injury. What's it like to have him back as he gears up for his final season? What's different about him, and when do you see him making his return?
Yeah, what's different about him? He still has that same persona. He's got such a positive vibe to him. That's what I keep telling everybody. He's going after this. Every day I talk to him, he says, I'm going to be back January 9th, no doubt about it, and he wants to be back for that first league game. We'll see what happens. You know, he's doing a great job with his rehab, but just having that positive aura about him, he's been great. He's been great in practice. He's been great every day in the locker room. It's been a pleasure to have him for a 6th year.
Of all the amazing things that last year's team accomplished, I was really impressed with the way they bonded together after the injury to Julian. And then Jamal Olasaware comes in, wins the Player of the Year award. What does that say about not only Jamal, but what this team was able to accomplish a year ago?
I think, again, you have a lot of guys that had so much experience and had done such a good job the 2 previous years. Yeah, when Julian goes down, we knew we still had some talent.
Sure.
It was going to be an adjustment. Did we know we'd come back and win the championship? Well, who knew? You know, again, we were 5-10 at one point. Guys had to change their roles. Jamal Olasaware became a little bit more patient. He was trying to do a little bit too much early on. CJ Gardner stepped his game up. Everybody else kind of filled their role really well, and it was just a really pleasure to coach those guys. They did a great job, both on the court, and all of those seniors ended up graduating, so we're certainly really proud of those guys for doing that as well.
I wanted to congratulate you on winning the Joe B. Hall Award. It's given annually to the top first-year head coach in Division I college basketball. What did that award mean? What did that award mean to you, and did it allow you to reflect back on your coaching career at all and where it all began?
Well, obviously I was humbled and honored to win such an award with so many great first-year coaches involved with it. They certainly could have given it to any of them, but it certainly felt really good. And again, culmination of everything that had happened with so much adversity that happened during the year, to be able to be recognized in such a fashion felt really good. And yeah, you reflect back and you see my whole career starting as an assistant at Division II school and getting a chance to be a Division III head coach, and then coming into this situation working with Jimmy Ferry for as long as I did, and to be given that opportunity to have that success. It's been a great ride.
Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in that past success, but a new year brings new challenges. You have one of the top point guards in the nation in Jason Brickman. You also have E.J. Reed, who was an NEC All-Rookie Team selection at forward. Given the circumstances coming into this year, do you see similarities and differences with teams of years past?
Very, very young. You know, obviously not a lot of experience. It's been a while. I don't even think since I've been here seen a team with this much inexperience. But the great thing is when you have a special point guard like Jason Brickman and you have some good athleticism in the front court and the guys have been eager to learn and have been eager to be taught, it's been fun. It's been great. There's been a lot of teaching, a lot more teaching than certainly last year. Last year was more about maintaining. This year is more about teaching the new guys what it means to be a part of this program. Obviously, there's always going to be high expectations, and so far they've done a really good job, and I've been impressed and happy.
Boyd, Brickman, Reed, who else do you see leaving his mark on the season? Anybody catch your eye in training camp thus far?
Yeah, Gilbert Parga is a kid that was a junior college transfer out of California. He's really done a good job each and every day. He competes every day. He's a very good scorer. He's a unique kid that has really good range. He's got good size. I'm excited about him. He's done a really good job up until this point. Both Troy Joseph and Jarrell Martin, they're both going to have to step up and get consistent. That's what their issue has been Freshmen over the last few years. They've been behind some other guys with more experience, and now it's their turn to step up. I'm hoping they do that. They've both done a good job leadership-wise. And then in the front court, Landon Atterbury. Landon Atterbury's done a really good job. I've been happy with him. He's got a good motor. He rebounds the ball really well, and he finishes well around the basket.
Without further ado, you open the season finally Saturday afternoon at the Barclays Center against St. Peter's. Can't think of a better stage to begin the new year. What kind of challenges do they pose? What do they bring to the table from an opposition's perspective?
Yeah, St. Peter's is going to. They're a lot of similarities to us in that they have a lot of new pieces. They graduated a lot of guys, and so there's going to be a lot of differences with them. They're a talented group, though. They have a freshman point guard who's really talented. He can get into the lane. They had a kid that scored 28 points against us last year, Desi Washington, who's a big-time three-point shooter. And then they have a kid, Marvin Dominique, who is a transfer that sat out last year from Fordham, he's an Atlantic 10 player. He's a big-time player, has a lot of ability. So there's going to be a lot of challenges. They're probably a little bit bigger than us. They're always a very good defensive team. John Dunn does a wonderful job over there with those guys. So it's going to be it'll be exciting. Our guys are really geared up and really excited about the opportunity to play against those guys, and we'll see what happens and see where we're at.
Coach, final question. I asked Gail about the NEC preseason poll. You're projected to finish 4th out of the 10 teams in the conference. Wagner projected to finish first, so you're already adding more fuel to an exciting rivalry. Then you look up at Bryant. They have Francis and Starks coming back. Can you break down the conference a little bit? I mean, what's the outlook right now, or is it too far away to tell?
Well, I think it's really far away, but at the same time, I think this is very wide open. I think there's a lot of good teams in the conference, and I think a lot of teams will have a chance to win this championship this year. Absolutely, Wagner has the most experience. Central Connecticut also has a lot of experience. I like both of those teams with what they have and the depth that they bring. So much happens, so much goes into being healthy, and whoever remains healthy. But I do think it's going to be open. Andy Toole does a great job, and Robert Morris. Obviously, Jamie down in Mount St. Mary's, they have a lot of talent and certainly a different kind of style that they play. So again, it's going to come down to who performs and who performs to their philosophy the best. I think we'll have a chance to be there in the end, especially if we get Julian Boyd back.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Have a good rest of the week of practice, and we'll talk to you Saturday.
Sounds good. Thanks, Greg.
My thanks to Jack Perri, head men's basketball coach, as well as Gail Striegler, the women's coach, who joined me earlier. This has been the first edition of the Blackbirds Basketball Coaches Show, presented by Applebees at the corner of Flatbush and DeKalb Avenue. Both teams open up the regular season later on this week. The women's team Friday night at the Steinberg Wellness Center when Columbia comes to town for a 7 o'clock tip. And then the men's team follows suit Saturday, 12 noon at the Barclays Center against St. Peter's. Once again, my thanks to my guests as well as the Blackbirds athletics and media relations staff. I'm Gregg Caserta saying so long, and we'll see you soon.